Good evening. I am Marietu Sidibe and this is QTV News coming to you live from our studios on Kairaba Avenue. Thanks for joining us. And now, here are the main local and sports news headlines. Following his inauguration last week and in line with constitutional requirement, President Barrow has sworn in what he calls a transitional cabinet, which sees all his ministers retaining their offices. As the Standing Committee of the National Assembly continues to probe into a petition that alleged corruption and abuse of office filed by some GT board staff, the proprietor of Construct Limited has revealed that his company's recent contract agreements with the Tourism Ministry has increased his lease for the Tropic Shopping Center from 35 to 50 years. The Independent Electoral Commission on Thursday briefed the media and other stakeholders on the upcoming National Assembly elections. In sports news, those were our main headlines. Now the news in detail. As the Standing Committee of the National Assembly continues to probe into a petition that alleged corruption and abuse of office filed by some GT board staff, the proprietor of Construct Limited has given his testimony, part of which reveals that his company's recent contract agreements with the Tourism Ministry has increased his lease for the Tropic Shopping Center from 35 to 50 years.
For Public Petitions meets to dig deeper into alleged corruption and malpractice over the contract between the Construct Limited, the Tourism Ministry and Gambia Tourism Board. According to Construct Limited's proprietor, the matter started in 2011 when his company requested land from the GT Board along Fajara waterfront for the construction of apartments. After negotiations, the request was approved on condition that Construct Limited compensates by building a craft market in Fajara with 80 shops and an office complex for the Gambia Tourism Board. Both projects, as per the contract, were to be fulfilled in exchange for the allocated land in Fajara. Farah Shams, Construct Limited's proprietor, testified that his company had built a craft market and that in 2014, land was identified in Kolole, opposite Lamtoro, where Tropic Shopping Center is currently located. The GT Board head office was to be constructed on a plot of land 80 by 40 meters. However, given the size of the land and its strategic location, Construct Limited advised the Tourism Board that it will be a waste for the land to only be used to build an office complex. Farah Shams tells the Standing Committee that his advice instead was for the office to be built together with a shopping center and other facilities. By the proprietor's testimony, the observation was appreciated and approved by the then head of state. Down the line, the ministry also expressed interest for the project to include its office within the same building. This was agreed and signed off with a $225,000 cost paid on behalf of the ministry by the Gambia Tourism Board. In this public-private partnership, Construct Limited would operate its business in the shopping center, which has other facilities, to recoup its investment within 30 years and hand it back to government at the end of that period. The lease would increase to 35 years because of the construction of the underground parking, adding to the expenditure by Construct Limited due to possible future expansion of the Bertil-Harding Highway. The project continued until in 2017 when a new government came to power. According to testimonies from Farah Shams and Abdullah Haidara, former GT Board director, in 2018 there was a change of plan by the present tourism minister who made a policy pronouncement that it wasn't a good idea to have the GT Board and the ministry occupy the same building as a shopping center. Another plot of land was identified close to Palmarima Junction for a GT Board office to be constructed by Construct Limited for free, but in exchange, an additional 15 years was added to the previously agreed 35-year lease. This contract was signed in 2018 between the GT Board, the Tourism Minister, and Construct Limited. Construction started last year and is expected to be completed in a few months. Tropic Shopping Centre is now owned and operated by Construct Limited on a 50-year lease, which rents the facility without paying an operational license to the Tourism Board. Zulai Haidara, a former Gambia Tourism Board Director General, Abubakar S. Kamara, the President GT Board DG, and Farah Shams, the proprietor of Construct Limited, believe that this is a win-win contract agreement that assures value for money. Whether it is a good or bad contract, these lawmakers will judge and issue a report of findings and recommendations for adoption by the National Assembly at the end of their investigation. Mahmoud Lamin Choi, QTV News.
Following his inauguration last week and in line with constitutional requirement, President Adama Barrow has sworn in what he calls a transitional cabinet, which sees all his ministers retaining their offices. The president expressed gratitude and appreciation to his cabinet ministers for their efforts and commitments during his first mandate. Momodu Laminchai reports.
The cabinet ministers are at this ceremony to fulfill a constitutional requirement to take an oath of allegiance following their appointment by President Adama Barrow on January 20th. The allegiance is to the Gambia and, according to our law, to carry out their official functions on behalf of the taxpayers.
I, Mamadou Tangara, having been appointed as Minister of Foreign Affairs, International Cooperation and Gambians Abroad of the Republic of the Gambia, do swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Republic of the Gambia according to law. So help me God.
18 members of the appointed cabinet ministers are sworn in on Thursday, except the Youth and Sports Minister, who is currently attending the AFCON, where the Scorpions are making history for our country. Lamin B. Diba, the Minister of Environment, Climate Change and Natural Resources, delivers messages of gratitude to the President on behalf of his cabinet colleagues.
Your Excellency, as a cabinet, we are proud of your leadership. The leadership qualities that you have demonstrated over the last 5 years were phenomenal. And we have the firm conviction that with your leadership, the Gambia will continue to register unprecedented development in all spheres of the economy.
President Adama Barrow's first term ended, and this is the beginning of another one, having secured a landslide victory in the December 2021 presidential elections, a reflection of the people's trust and confidence in his administration. Behind the wheels of his machinery for development are the cabinet ministers who collectively direct government policies and programs and make decisions about national matters.
I will not do justice to you if I do not publicly declare my appreciation and gratitude for your laudable efforts and the commendable commitment you demonstrated during my first term in office. You executed your duties responsibly and with devotion to ensure that we succeed together in delivering on our development aspirations.
Leaving a positive development legacy should be the task of every government whose mandate is to deliver on a social contract. Having registered some progress in accordance with the National Development Plan, President Barrow, together with his cabinet ministers, vows to keep his promise for the Gambia.
I believe that no matter how long one serves in public office, it is more important than anything else to sincerely make the best out of the opportunity put at our disposal to serve the nation.
According to the President, this is a transitional cabinet before a permanent one is finally appointed soon. While in office during the early stage of President Adama Barrow's second term, expectations are high that the cabinet ministers will execute their functions as sworn in today and in the best interest of our country. Mahmoud Lamin Choi, QTV News.
The Independent Electoral Commission on Thursday briefed the media and other stakeholders on the upcoming National Assembly elections set for April 9, 2022. Omar P. Jallo was there, and this is his report.
A press release issued on the 17th January 2022 by the Independent Electoral Commission IEC announced the dates for the National Assembly elections, nomination of candidates and campaign period. This event is to inform the media and other stakeholders about the important event. The IEC chairman Ali Momar Njai said the December presidential election was rated by electoral observers as the most transparent, free, fair and credible election conducted in Africa, testified by 5 former heads of state who led international election observation mission to the Gambia. He assured there will be a replica in the upcoming National Assembly elections.
We employ thousands of youths as polling agents, as AROs, and make sure that whatever is being done by them is witnessed by political party agents or candidates of the just to make sure that at the end, nobody will complain about our performance.
Sambujang Jai, the chief electoral officer, said aside from Botswana and Cape Verde, the Gambia's electoral system is rated the third most democratic in Africa due to the large voter turnout and presence of local and international media and observers. CEO Njai gave a rundown of the IEC activities for the National Assembly election.
We will be continuing to have this kind of meeting on a monthly basis with the political parties, civil society, and media practitioners to keep you updated of the electoral process, more so on the electoral activity being conducted, that is the National Assembly elections. This will avail you the opportunity to ask relevant questions and to contribute immensely in terms of better carrying the activity. On 1st February 2022, we will open invitation for election observation missions. Anybody, any organization, international, local, media, civil society who is interested in covering the elections will have to apply for accreditation. Otherwise, your presence or your accompaniment with us will stop at our monthly meeting. We will not be allowed in our regional offices to cover our nomination procedures and the rest of the election processes. So for the media, civil society, these applications should be sent to the head office. We will accredit at the head office, but the work is taking place at the regions. The regional offices will not allow you if you are not accredited. We are reminding you that by the 4th, if you want to participate in the election as media practitioner, as civil society, as an observer, please apply for accreditation.
In exercise of its mandate, the Independent Electoral Commission will conduct National Assembly elections for all constituencies in the Gambia on Saturday, 9th April 2022. Nomination period will last for 9 days from the 5th to the 13th March 2022 between the hours of 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. at all regional offices across the country. Nomination papers can be collected from the respective regional offices from the 4th of February 2022. Campaign period is from the 17th March to the 7th of April 2022. Reporting for QTV News, I am Omar P. Jallo.
We will now go for a commercial break. When we return, we will have some sports news stories. Do stay tuned.
The GRA, in executing its mandate of collecting revenue for national development in a fair and transparent manner, will recognize and award compliant taxpayers who consistently pay and file their taxes on time and present original and authentic customs documents at the annual Taxpayers Award Ceremony. This year's edition of the Taxpayers Award Ceremony will take place on Saturday, January 29, 2022 at the Keraba Beach Hotel, commencing at 7:30 p.m. The event will be graced by the President of the Republic of the Gambia, His Excellency Mr. Adama Barrow, the executive and members of the business community. The 4th edition of the GRA Taxpayer Award Ceremony, a memorable night, is assured. GRA, collecting revenue for national development.
Welcome back. Blue Bee Gambia, a charitable organization that seeks to give back to society by engaging in community awareness, has embarked on self-defense programs for senior secondary schools across the country. Aminata Sise has more in this report.
Blue Bee Gambia was established in March 2021 by Yankuba Fati, residing in Italy, and Jenaba Toure, who lives in the United Kingdom. Blue Bee creates platforms for people who are willing to help via donation or services so other people can live a better life. The organization also provides students with school fees and assist with their other basic needs. Badu Jawara, the president of Bluebee Gambia, reveals that they have reached over 500 students across the country to sensitize them on self-defense against crimes such as rape, theft, robbery, and how to avoid crime.
From the urban areas here, the greater Banjul areas, up to the Phonis, we've gone that far to actually meet the students and the youths and telling them, informing them about crucial issues of this country, especially the security and safety when it comes to rape and how you can defend yourself, some of these crimes that, like as in theft, how you can save yourself from it.
Mr. Jawara also stated that the organization targets senior secondary schools across the country to sensitize students on crimes prevention and self-defense.
We believe that that time of their lives, it's really crucial to them, and it's important that it's imperative, in fact, for them to understand the severity of some of their actions.
Mr. Jawara says one of the objectives of Bluebee Gambia is to avoid the stigma of associating things with a particular gender, person, or a group of people.
We concentrate on the people with disabilities. I make sure I call them that, people with disabilities. They are not disabled, because these people have been doing tremendously well in our society, and we've seen it not once, not twice. People who are visually impaired doing something good for our country.
Mr. Jawara says Bluebee Gambia seeks to partner with other stakeholders such as the Red Cross, Action Aid the Gambia, to improve the livelihoods of Gambians by providing for people's basic needs.
A very huge plan that Bluebee Gambia has is to to actually engage in all these stakeholders, like Red Cross, like Action Aid, like all other organizations that are helping the Gambia become better.
Bluebee Gambia has been also engaged in empowering women and differently abled people by providing aid, civic education, and activities to mitigate their social economy challenges. For QTV News, I am Aminata Sise.
Two Gambian teams will participate in the Norway Cup in July. Youths aged 15 and under, both male and female, will take part in the competition. President Adama Barrow on Thursday signed the official match ball of the Norway Cup at the State House. Momodu Gajaga was there, and he now reports.
The Norway Cup is the world's largest football competition for children aged 10 to 19. This year's edition will be held between July 30th to August 6th, 2022. President Adama Barrow added his signature to the competition's match ball, and he and some of his ministers posed for photographs. Tijan Jaite, Gambia's sports ambassador, explains the competition.
The Norway Cup is the biggest youth tournament in the world. It consists of around 50 countries around the world participate in this tournament.
Two teams from the Gambia will take part in the competition. Male and female teams aged 15 and under will compete in the tournament. Jaita says he wants to give young players an opportunity to realize their dreams through football.
I believe that we must support both male and female teams, because I believe the youths, especially when they are young, they need opportunity. And when you give them opportunity, you give them hope. And when you give them hope, you make them start to dream about their future. So that is why I always try to see how best I can touch more youths to get involved in sports, both male and female.
Several players who took part in the Norway Cup went on to become successful in their football careers. These include Yusuf Njai, Hamza Bari, Idrissa Gana Gay, John Keru, and Oleguna Sholja, amongst others. For Tijan, participating in this competition may give the players the opportunity to emulate the Scorpions, who are recording a fantastic achievement in their maiden AFCON, reaching the quarterfinals.
The national team, they are doing wonderfully well there in Cameroon, and they are making every Gambian proud. So, and this is exactly what we need, because these boys now who are competing there, they were the same like these young boys who are about to go to the Norway Cup. At their age, when they were coming up, as a young stars, and now look at them. They are men now competing and fighting for trophy to conquer Africa.
More than 50 countries, 200 teams, and 2,000 players will take part in the week-long competition. Some of the players to take part in the tournament could become future world stars. Momodu Gajaga, QTV News.
That's all we have for you in this edition of QTV News. Join us at 10 for another bulletin. Thank you for watching.